This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by For All Seasons Behavioral Health and Rape Crisis Center.
The holidays have a reputation for being filled with incredible joy, the lights, the gatherings, the traditions. But for some, it's a time when something heavier weighs on the mind. The empty chair at the dinner table, or the silence where laughter used to be. Grieving the loss of a loved one is never easy, but it can be made worse during this special season. Katie Tiki is the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer with For All Seasons, and she's here to share how we can handle that grief this time of the year. Katie, welcome to DelmarvaLife.
Thank you.
So why do you think it is that the holidays are so much more difficult when you're grieving the loss of a loved one?
Well, the holidays can really be difficult for a lot of people, not just folks who are grieving, but especially if you're grieving the loss of a loved one, it's an especially challenging time. And I think this is a time of year that emphasizes togetherness and family. So if you're missing someone, that makes it harder. There's also the expectation for a lot of joy and fun. And so in contrast, if you're not feeling that, it's difficult. And so many memories can be tied to the holiday time of year. So that makes it hard too.
Sure, sure. Why is it important for us to recognize when someone is dealing with grief?
Well, I think it's really important because part of the process of moving through grief is to recognize it, to acknowledge it, for people to name it and what they're experiencing. And that is really how they will be able to manage that grief as opposed to suppressing those feelings. It's really important to acknowledge it and have compassion both for yourself if you're the one experiencing that grief, and then for others if you know folks who are grieving at this time of year.
So for someone who is dealing with grief, do you have some tips on how they go through that journey?
You know, it's different for everybody, and grief is a complex emotion. But for folks, I would say there are a lot of different things that they can try and do. One thing is to set reasonable expectations. So you might not have the big, giant holiday gathering. You might have a smaller, quieter holiday. You might set expectations for yourself about what you can manage, about how many events you're going to try to go to, or if you're going to make it to that party or not. And to have a plan B if you're not going to be doing those things. For many folks, volunteering could be very helpful. So getting out and doing things so that you're giving back can be a way of helping to manage that grief.
And we talked a little bit about dealing with someone who is grieving. Is there something in particular we can do to support them, or maybe not do?
I think reaching out and being present and being aware of what their needs are as best you can. You can help someone with their holiday shopping, you can help someone with decorating. You can also just show up and spend a little time with them, because many times what they're missing is that companionship. So just being there, being aware is huge.
And for someone who may be dealing with grief, is there a point where you just need to get some help? Like you just can't deal with it. You feel like you can't deal with it.
I think that absolutely there's a time when professional help needs to be sought. And so being aware that that is out there. For All Seasons has open access, which is walk-in services both in person and in telehealth. So you can get same-day access to mental health services, and we want people to know that that is there for them. And so if they're really struggling, please reach out. Don't suffer alone. There's help out there.
That's wonderful to know, because as you said, everybody experiences grief differently. So at least they know that there's somebody out there who can help them get through it.
Absolutely.
Katie Tiki with For All Seasons, thank you so much
for
joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.